You hear that sound? That's the sound of liberty echoing through the mountains of California for the first time in years. That's not just the sound of ammo boxes being cracked open. It's the sound of a corrupt law being shot down in flames. Let me tell you something. Brothers and sisters of the 2A community, for years, we've been told we're paranoid. We've been mocked, silenced, taxed, and background checked just to buy a box of 22s. They said it's about common sense and safety, but what they really wanted was control. And now? Now it's our turn to say, enough. On July 24th, 2025, something historic happened. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, the same court we've all groaned at before, struck down California's ammo background check law as flat-out unconstitutional. Let that sink in. The same court that's rubber-stamped anti-gun garbage for years just said, no more. And it wasn't a maybe, it was a slam dunk. Let's rewind for a second and understand what went down. Back in 2016, voters in California passed Proposition 63, requiring background checks for every ammunition purchase. This nightmare went into effect in 2019. Want to pick up a couple hundred rounds at your local gun shop? Better get ready for a background check. Again, even if you already passed one for your firearm. Oh, and if the state's outdated system screws up and flags you for no reason? Too bad. Denied. Go home empty-handed, even if you're a law-abiding citizen with a clean record. Oh, and pay a fee for the privilege, too. It was a system designed not for safety, but to wear us down, slow us down, tax us into submission. And guess what? It didn't stop criminals. It stopped you. It stopped the single mom trying to train at the range. It stopped the veteran stocking up for a weekend match. It stopped the grandfather teaching his grandkids to shoot. But criminals? They don't fill out DROS forms. They don't care about background checks. They never did. Enter Kim Rhode, Olympian, champion, and patriot. She stood up and said no. She took the state to court in Rhode v. Bonta, backed by the Firearms Policy Coalition and CRPA. This wasn't just a legal battle. It was a war for principle. And after years of grinding through lower courts, the Ninth Circuit finally gave us a victory we won't forget. The court ruled that this law violates the Second Amendment. Plain and simple. Under the Bruen standard, states must show that any restriction on the right to keep and bear arms is consistent with this nation's historical tradition. California? They couldn't, because there's no historical tradition in this country of treating ammo like contraband. You can't just make up new rules and pretend it's about history. And just like that, boom. The law crumbled. And what happened next? Oh, you better believe it. As soon as word got out that the restriction was dead, at least for now, patriots flooded the gun stores like it was Black Friday at Bass Pro. Ammo shelves started clearing out. Online orders spiked through the roof. Gun owners, who'd been playing defense for too damn long, finally had their moment. They called it Freedom Week. And trust me, it was glorious. One shop owner in San Diego said he hadn't seen lines that long since the first lockdown. Folks were out there early in the morning, coffee in one hand, cash in the other, ready to stack cases. Not boxes, cases. Because when the chains come off, we don't ask why. We ask, how much can I carry to the truck? I talked to a guy who bought 5,000 rounds in one day. You think that's excessive? No. That's preparation. That's what freedom looks like when you're not being treated like a criminal for wanting to defend your family. Another lady told me, I cried when they told me I didn't need to scan my ID. For once, I felt like a citizen again, not a suspect. That hit me hard. This wasn't just a buying spree. It was a statement, a rebellion, peaceful, lawful, righteous. It was California gun owners, tired of being blamed, demonized, taxed, and restricted, saying, we're still here, and we're done apologizing. Let's be real for a second. This law was broken from the start, even if you somehow believed the intentions were good. The execution was a mess, glitchy database, wrongful denials, law-abiding citizens being treated like potential felons just for wanting to buy a couple boxes of range ammo. You know what they called it in court? A system with a 16% wrongful rejection rate. 1 out of every 6 attempts was flat-out denied, even if the buyer had no criminal record. You show me another constitutional right where you'd tolerate that kind of failure rate. Imagine if 1 in 6 people were denied the right to vote because of a clerical error. Heads would roll. And let's talk about those fees. They weren't just annoying, they were attacks on your rights. You had to pay $1 for a basic check or $19 for a new registration if the system couldn't match your info. For some folks, especially older veterans or lower-income families, that wasn't just a nuisance, that was a barrier. The state said, "It's just a small fee, like it's no big deal." Yeah? Try saying that every single time someone wants to train, compete, hunt, or just stock up responsibly. Those small fees add up. Over time, they become walls, and walls become cages. But you know what? We saw through it. We knew this wasn't about safety. This was about control. If they can make ammo hard to get, they don't have to ban your guns. They can starve them. And when you finally give up because it's just too damn difficult, they win. That's why this ruling is so much more than a local California issue. It's a shot heard across America. Every single state watching, New York, New Jersey, Illinois, they all just felt the tremor. Because when the Ninth Circuit, of all places, tells a blue state, you've gone too far, it sends a signal, a legal precedent, a warning. The Second Amendment still means something. Now look, I know some folks will say, but it's only temporary. The mandate isn't official yet. The state might appeal. Yeah, maybe. But here's what they can't take back: the momentum. This win lit a fire under the 2A community, and you can bet we're not putting that flame out anytime soon, because this is more than one case. This is about the long war we've been fighting for decades. And you better believe this victory, this taste of freedom, is going to fuel the next one. The magazine ban? Next, the assault weapon registry? We're coming. Mandatory waiting periods? We're not done. And if you think I'm being dramatic, let me ask you, why is it considered radical to want the government to leave you alone? Why is it controversial to want to buy ammunition without a government permission slip? Since when did being a responsible, trained, safety-conscious citizen make you the bad guy? I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I trust my neighbors with guns more than I trust politicians with power. And if that statement offends you, maybe you're not paying attention. Maybe you've forgotten what freedom really means. This ruling reminded us. For one golden week, and hopefully longer, we remembered what it felt like to not be treated like second-class citizens in our own damn country. We remembered what it felt like to breathe just a little freer. And that feeling? Oh, we're going to chase it. We're not done. Not by a long shot. This is the spark. What comes next? That's up to all of us. Now let's get something straight. This isn't just a California win. It's a warning shot to every anti-gun politician in America. You want to undermine the Second Amendment? You want to treat good, law-abiding people like criminals? We'll fight you in court. We'll fight you at the ballot box. We'll fight you online, in communities, in lawsuits, and we'll win. But we can't do it alone. If you're watching this and thinking, hell yeah, this is a win, then it's time to step up. Not tomorrow, not next year. Right now, join the groups that are fighting for you. Firearms Policy Coalition, Gun Owners of America, California Rifle and Pistol Association. I don't care which flag you wave, just make sure you're in the fight. Donate, volunteer, write letters, show up. The reason we got this victory is because people refused to sit down and shut up. They funded lawsuits. They spoke out when it wasn't popular. They got mocked and shadow banned and threatened. And guess what? They didn't back down. That's what this movement is made of. And to those of you watching from safe states, Texas, Florida, Montana, don't get comfortable, don't get cocky. California is the blueprint. What happens here is what they'll try in your backyard. If it can happen in the land of sunshine and surf, it can happen anywhere. And trust me, they're already working on it. This is the time to be loud, be unrelenting, be bold. Let them know we're not just gun owners. We're voters. We're workers. We're parents. We're protectors. We are the backbone of this country, and we will not be disarmed. Now let me speak directly to those who still think the Second Amendment is just about hunting, or that we're just a bunch of paranoid radicals. You're wrong. This is about independence. This is about dignity. This is about the right to defend your life, your family, and your home without begging the government for permission. And if that scares you, good. Maybe it should, because we're not going away. We're not softening. We're not compromising our rights for your comfort. I'll end with this. I was standing in line during Freedom Week, chatting with a guy in his 60s, wore a Marine Corps hat. The quiet guy didn't say much at first, but when he finally spoke, he looked me dead in the eye and said, "I've waited a long time for this day. Just wish it didn't take a damn lawsuit for me to feel like an American again." That stuck with me. Because for all the legal jargon and political commentary, this whole thing comes down to something really simple. People just want to be free, free to protect themselves, free to live without being criminalized for exercising a constitutional right, free to say, "No, you don't get to control me." If this message resonates with you, let it be a reminder. This isn't just a story about one court case. It's a turning point, a signal that we're not backing down, that we're standing taller, louder, and prouder. Think back to your own Freedom Week. Remember how it felt. And if you know someone who still thinks this fight is over, they need to hear this. Because we're not done. Not even close. We've been silent long enough. Now we reload. This is the Second Amendment. This is Freedom Week. This is how we win.